One of the most important instruments for disseminating information to individuals is the media. Nowadays, mass media has grown so fast that the options for where people should prefer to get their information to is limitless. Our society has come a long way from print and broadcast media to the digital media with the help of technology. As technology rapidly evolves through time, it has now become part of our daily lives and will always be parallel in media. From using the internet to access loads of news and information online to enriching personal lifestyle, technology has truly benefited us day in and day out. But before we dive a little deeper, let us first know what is media. Media, which is a plural word for medium, explains the different modes of communication that we use in society, along with various communication channels that disseminate all sorts of information such as news, movies, music, messages, and other data. Examples of this would be the print, broadcast, and digital media. So what does media really do for us?
Media is an integral part of society, and it has been a part of our lives ever since we can remember when. Over the years, it has played a great role in the society, and one of its evident roles is that it can function as a springpad of our imaginations, an origin of fantasy, and a way of escapism. With the various stories it has brought to us through the time that we have received, whether in books, in television, or in the internet, it has the power to take us away from ourselves. Additionally, media is appraising and teaching, as media has also the ability to give education and information towards the people. In the modern times, newspapers, news-oriented television, and radio programs provided stories online that can be easily accessible by anyone around the globe. Moreover, media serves as a public forum for the discussion of important issues, just like how newspapers or other publications let readers to react or to express their opinions on the day's issues. In addition, internet is a basically democratic medium that provides everyone the capability to convey their opinions through podcasts or a blog. Lastly, media takes part as a watchdog for business, government, and other institutions where they cover everything about them.
Now, it is important to note that not all media are created equal, as some were made for entertainment and others are for information alone. In terms of printed media, books can store loads of information but are slow and expensive to produce, while newspapers are cheaper and quicker to make, which makes them fitter in the spread of daily news. Television provides visual information compared to radio and can even broadcast live events to a nationwide audience, yet it is a one-way medium, unlike the internet, which can entertain public discussion of issues that allows everyone to have a voice. With this, the 1960s media theorist Marshall McLuhan said that the medium is the message. This means that we have engaged ourselves in those media, especially in communication, that those media are not just simply a channel for sharing or receiving information. The media also affects the way we distribute and perceive certain information and communication processes. This quotation talks about how the media we use affects the overall information that is being transmitted, its meaning, and how it will be perceived by others. For instance, when watching a news program on television, the news program will be more eye-appealing and updated, but news programs only have a limited time to broadcast. Due to this, those programs contain only the highlights of the news. Unlike reading news in a newspaper or on news sites, more information exists since the said media does not have any limit, but can be boring for some. The audiences of those different media may have a particular view and awareness of their environment because of their exposure of certain mediums with its good and bad sides. But how did media really develop through time? It all started in the earliest type of human communication, which dates back to ancient humans with their paintings, drawings, and writings in caves. As our society advances, early types of mass media advance as well. Earlier types of books, manuscripts, and other written documents were handwritten. The idea of mass production and written materials, or printing, later began in East Asia around 700 CE. To mass-produce their texts, the Chinese used a woodblock printing process. But not until the 15th century, Johannes Gutenberg invented the movable type printing press that made the mass production of print media more efficient to be done. In 1810, Friedrich Koenig combined the printing press with a steam engine that accelerated the media productions. Due to this, newspapers and magazines began to enter American society during the 19th century. After that, visual mass media became known with the circulation of different photographs in newspapers and magazines. Around the 1840s, sound-based mass media flourished with the invention of the telegraph and a type of Morse code for one-to-one communication by Samuel Morse. Later, also comes the telephone that enabled individuals to talk to each other in large distances. Then, electromagnetic waves made wireless transmissions and communication possible. Due to this, early parts of the 20th century brought us the radio, which engaged the society to talk shows, news broadcasting, advertising, unification, and consumerism. Advancements in mass media did not stop there. Experiments with motion pictures began in the late 1870s that brought us films or movies. Furthermore, the television was introduced, and around the early 1950s, thousands of television sets became a part of American homes. Broadcast television became a dominant form of mass media, since society is now engaged in watching then monochrome, now colored shows, news programs, movies, live events, sitcoms, and others. But its users only had a few channels to watch, not until the 1980s with the introduction of cable television, offered a lot more channels and versatility to the audiences. During the 1940s, the invention of the digital code paved the way for the internet and other new media. We invented computers, microprocessors for reading and storing electronic signals, and fiber optic cables that transmit data in faster ways. Then, the popularity of the internet and digital media, which are composed of binary codes, rose around 1990 until today. The internet, on the other hand, refers to a web of information networks, made possible by the transmission of digital signals on cables, lines, satellites, servers, modems, and computer processors. Now, on the internet, one can read a book, listen to the radio or music, watch different programs, and many more.
Of course, it's only through technology that mass media can exist, and it has certainly taken a big part in the evolution and advancement of media through time. The capability to form an expensive and small enough technology to be suitable into every household is an essential phase of the new technology's popularization. Technology has influenced the mass media, and these include the advancement of technology, reducing production time of mass media, giving storage establishments for media content, stimulating citizenship, journalism, influence on advertising organizations, etc. Technology and the media are connected and can't be parted from modern society in most advanced and evolving countries, as technology produces media and has affected on how and where information is shared.
But after everything we have tackled about evolution, advancements, and the rise of digital media, the biggest question still remains out there, and that is traditional media dead? The answer, no. The days when print and broadcast were the only ways to meet the masses are long gone. Yet despite the fact that they are already deemed as a thing of the past, they are still considered essential components in making a successful media mix. In spite of the value of digital media in today's society, the efforts of traditional media should not be overlooked. The conventional media that we once knew is simply adjusting, changing, and progressing to cope up with the emergence of social and digital media. They have completely transformed their methods into a much modern approach in order to form a dynamic crossbreed. Newspapers have become e-papers and blogs, radio projects have turned to online streaming and podcasts, and TV broadcasts merge with modern social media platforms to get the opinion of the people. Traditional media is revitalizing its ways to strengthen its role with the ever-changing media landscape, which makes it as an indispensable backbone of modern journalism. As you can see, traditional media is still alive, kicking, and definitely relevant nowadays. The conventional methods of disseminating news and information may be considered old and forgotten, but the media itself resists to succumb.